Meanwhile, so what would our future look like if we can't maintain our energy independence like we're experiencing right now? Let's bring in someone who knows a thing or two about energy. Daniel Turner, he's the executive director of Power the Future, an energy advocacy group aimed at exposing the radical environmental agenda. And this agenda has us in a peril right now, Daniel, because oil right now is over $100 a barrel. And guess who's going to or is about to get there, I should say. Guess who benefits? Iran and Russia. Why wouldn't they continue to rattle everyone's cages and smile as we pull back from energy exploration?
Yeah, and that's one of the really frustrating things about this energy policy, that it does become national security policy. This administration has made Iran and Russia richer and more powerful because their economies are really based on fossil fuel exports. And I wish it weren't so, but that is reality. So as we are making them richer and more powerful because of these regimes, they're not empowering women and minorities. They're not building schools. They're building their armies, and they're launching these attacks. And so energy policy is foreign policy. It is national security as well.
Daniel, the Germans in particular, and most of Europe, France, after the disaster with that tidal wave in Japan, pulled up stakes when it came to nuclear energy, which burns clean. So it made them more dependent on fossil fuels. And they don't seem to acknowledge that natural gas burns clean. Can we change? Can we now change course if we choose and become their main supplier?
Yeah, and that's really important that you make that point, because this is a climate policy based upon fear, right? Angela Merkel, after this terrible tsunami in Fukushima, said we can't have nuclear power here in Germany because look at Fukushima. But Germany doesn't have tsunamis, right? And so she scared the German people into getting rid of what works. And the environmental groups are scaring the American people every day to pivot us towards something that is not working. Successful. If there were a green country in the world that was working, that had success, I would be willing to emulate it. But Germany is the most far ahead when it comes to green policies. They're probably 20 years ahead of the United States. They emit more years ago, and their fuel prices and their energy prices are now 4 times what they were. So that is America's future if we are scared by these green groups into following this green policy, which does not work.
And the heavily green states in America are the ones that have the most brownouts because they can't sustain the energy needed by those horrible people called their citizens. So therefore, the lights are blinking and the prices are going up. The technology is not there yet. Why don't people understand that? It should be national security first. Daniel Turner, you know this. Thanks so much.
Thank you.